Okay, girls, so let's start with chapter 11.2 about identifying patterns. So, before going into patterns and identifying patterns, I want to talk about mathematics. So, what is mathematics? Basically, mathematics is a language that we use to describe the world around us. So, when we think about mathematics, what I just read, it's a language. You might say, what? The same as English and Spanish language. Yes, it is. It's a language that we use to describe the world around us. Why do I love it so much? It's, it's because for many reasons, but one of the reasons is because it's a universal language, which means that if I go to Colombia and I write an equation and I solve it, it's going to be the same in Australia, in Colombia, in, I don't know, China, India, wherever you go. It's a universal language. We all speak the same language when we're talking in mathematics. You follow the same rules so we can understand each other when we're talking mathematics. So that's why I love it so much. Um, so one of the things that mathematics do is to study patterns. And you have been doing this since you were in kindergarten. I know this because Valentina loves to play with patterns. So you've been doing this since you were a little kid. So, but why do we study those patterns? Why is it important to try to discover those patterns in the world we live in? So, if we think about it, it's important we do it for two reasons. Why? To discover rules. Discover rules that will describe those patterns. But you can still be asking, by why do you want to discover rules? And the important part is because we want to predict, and this is the crucial part. We want to predict what is going to happen. We want to predict what is going to happen in the future. We want to predict so that we can take precautions. And in the world that we live in today, with this pandemic and everything, you have been listening to people talking about that the experts are analyzing the data and they suggest that we do this. It's basically because they're studying patterns. They're trying to discover rules of what would happen, and they say, okay, our suggestion is we have to go back into lockdown for 6 weeks because they predict that if we don't do that, then the cases are going to continue to expand. So this is a clear example of where we see mathematics at action. But let's go back to our patterns and the patterns that you used to use when you were in primary school or in kinder. So I'm going to use a very basic pattern. So I'm going to say triangle, circle, triangle, circle, triangle, circle, triangle, circle. And as I said, what we want with any pattern is to discover a rule. So if I ask you, girls, can you describe that pattern that we have here? You can say, yes, Miss Ochoa. I start with a triangle, then I change it to a circle, then I go to a triangle, then I change it to a circle, then I go to a triangle, then I change it to a circle. So you're discovering the rule. Okay, so that helps us to predict. So if I ask you, what is going to be the next term and the next term and the next term, the next 3 terms, can you predict those ones? And you say, of course, Miss Ochoa, I can. So the next one, this one is going to be a triangle, and then this one is going to be a circle, and this one is going to be a triangle. Agree? So we have used all these with this pattern. But let's say that, okay, let's say that this is the first term, and this is the second term, and this one is the third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, seventh one, eighth one, ninth one, 10th one, and 11th. Okay. You put THs into all of these ones. Okay. But now I want to know what is going to be the term that is going to be 100th one. Can we see that? And we can say, okay, what can I observe here? I can observe that the first term is a triangle, the third term is a triangle, the fifth one is a triangle, and the other way around, the second one is a circle, the fourth one is a circle, the sixth one is a circle, the eighth one is a circle, the 10th one is a circle. So all those ones that are even, in even positions, agree, are circles. So I can predict that this that is in the 100th position is going to be a circle. Okay, and what if I want to predict what is going to be the term that is, I don't know, whatever. Let's do 5,001th position. So in the same logic that we just said, you will say, okay, yes, it's a triangle. Done. So we have done this. We studied the pattern, we discovered the rule, and we have predicted what is going to happen in the future. Okay, so now we're going to apply exactly the same model and the same logic to work with algebra. So I'll continue in the next video.